Gotta be. I haven't come across my old hockey game.
Oh yeah, so there is stuff up in the attic, I think.
I was thinking so, but
Is that yours?
yep.
How long since you've seen that?
Oh, fuck, probably 50 years.
That's a while. Good morning and welcome back. Now today's an exciting day because it's actually round 2 of an estate pick I did recently. If you caught my last video, I went through a house full of old stuff. Creepy items all over the place. There was taxidermy, hunting gear, Masonic items, you name it. Now lost in all the chaos was the fact that I forgot to go through the attic and the cellar, both places I really wanted to check out but never got around to. That's what today is all about. So I'm going to meet the brother and sister over at the house right now, so let's jump in the car, go check it out, and hopefully there's some treasure left for me. So this is the cellar I forgot to go through last time. It's layers deep. I buy a few things out of cellars. There's a lot of modern canning jars as well. And some odds and ends. Do you want to do a side deal on some stuff in the cellar here?
What's the side deal?
Well, I don't want all of it. I only want some of it, probably. I can't really see what's up here yet.
Right.
But how about I pay you $50 and I take what I want?
Well, I don't know, Mark. I think more like 100 you can take it.
I don't buy a lot. And if I spend more than that, I may
Oh, well, then we're talking
give him money
75
away.
to split it in the middle.
75, split in the middle, and I take what I want out of here?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make that deal.
You can even take the, I'll have to talk to my sister first, but
Even take the, what were you going to say?
you can even take the ones that still got food in them.
No, I'll leave those ones behind.
Fuck, that might be good, Bertie.
Yeah, they very well might be good, but I'm not that desperate for food. Okay, we'll make the deal for 75. I'll take what I want.
$1 pot to buy that brand new, so.
Okay, so 75 for basically the vintage stuff, not the newer stainless steel pots and stuff like that. And you can keep the preserves.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking about cracking some of these open to see.
Well, take them home with you and let me know how that works out. All right, so I can make some room so I can stand in here and pull stuff off the shelves. Get some of this crap out of the way. Oh, there's something cool in there. Looks like an old press. Awesome. All right. So where am I going to put the stuff I don't want? So I'm going to be looking for old canning jars. The good names. I don't want the $2, $3 Crown common ones. But, you know, of course I'm looking for a beaver, a couple of rare gems, early Crown if it's the right stuff. Feels like cast iron skillets or something. I'll look at it later. There's a bin down here. It's a nice little mid-century piece. Maybe there's a lid. Plastic. Muffin tins. Oh, there's a lid. Okay, so that's just plastic and cheap tins. Ooh, some maple syrup. That stuff lasts a while. See, there's a more common Crown jar there. I'm not taking that. Oh, I see something back there. It might be worth grabbing. looks rough. The handle's broken. Okay. Okay, so it's all in newspaper. There we go. It's all in newspaper. That feels like a bottle. Feels like a mug. Well, I got dibs on whatever I want. I haven't got time to unwrap all this, so even if it's mostly junk, I'll just take the whole bin back. All right, one more down here. Oh, it's more of the same stuff wrapped up. Oh, it's wet. Why is that wet? I'll take my chances on it. That's pretty, I don't know what's in there. Yeah, this could be like stuff that belonged to the mother. There's an old insulator right there. Okay, so these are mystery boxes. We're gonna go through these back at the shop. Oh, there we go. There's a bunch of old little insulators, knob and tube type stuff from the house. They're kind of cool, crafty pieces. Yeah, there definitely is years worth of stuff in here. So this looks like maybe some melamine or plastic cups, maybe some camping. Man, everything's just falling apart. It is pretty damp down here. The melamine stuff. Cast iron. Some enamelware. Some super 70s. Oh, that's melamine too. That's cool. So I'm just gonna take what I want out of this box. Light at the end of the tunnel. Modern, modern, modern. Food, food, food. Paris. Okay, here's some older jars. So there's an earlier crown. The nice zinc band on it. Again, it's not worth grabbing. Not for me, anyway. See, again, it's a nice older, better one, but maybe I'll grab that one. I did pay. I haven't taken a whole lot out of here yet. So, I can't use that. Oh, there we go. Some nice stoneware pieces, a nice little jug. Looks okay. Another one down here. This one's kind of interesting. It's got a cork top. Nice decorator pieces, even if they're not for the collector. This is, crock pot. Super 1980s crock pot. I don't know. I've seen This Is Us and I know how that goes down. So I'm not going to take that one home with me. Okay, on a rickety stool. Top shelf is the last one. It's dirty. Filthy. Like, oh, it's in my hair. There's like just cobwebs everywhere. Alright, one piece at a time. There's another piece of stoneware. A little spilling stuff. Nice old bedpan. Jeez, there's all kinds of stuff in here that could hurt you. So yeah, nobody's been messing around in here for quite some time. Let me see what this kind of pottery is that's broken, whatever it is. So, okay, so it's an old pitcher and wash basin, but that's clearly destroyed. I'm kind of hoping the basin is in one piece and not cracked right up. It's rocks. So it's a J&G Meakin from England. It's not overly expensive. It does have a nice little pattern. But it's white and it goes with everything. Oh, there is a little chip there. It's got character. Nice enamelware pitcher. Really beat, but nice decoration. Can make a good vase. Oh, what if that's some moonshine? I'll have to ask the brother about that one. Could turn out to be quite the party in here. What is this? random powder all over my hands. Mold. I should not be breathing this in. It's a burner from a lamp. So we got the Carling Cincinnati cream case. Looks full. Oh, look at that. I don't know. I'm going to see what kind of shape the box is in. But yeah, these don't even have the labels. I'm going to leave that behind. Paddling container full of lids. It's falling apart as I touch it. So, the more I look at these and handle these, the less I want these more common crowns. If I just make a couple bucks off what I grabbed, I'm okay with that at this point because this is so much work. It's an older ball. I'll put that aside. Oh, and there's another early one here. The Imperial. It's got the blue tint. Nice iridescent finish on it. Cool. Oh, so here's our different crown here. This is a Sweetheart crown. If you look at it next to another one, it's called a Sweetheart. It's almost heart-shaped. You can see how it really dips down there. See how it really dips down there? This one's, there you go. That's about a $20 jar with a good lid on it. Oh, we're almost at the end here. Oh, newspaper. It looks like fabric. It's so moist. Crown. There's another crown. Oh, there's an older gem back here. It's a little bit different. It's not really colored, but you know, I'm gonna end up with about a dozen of these old canning jars just to sell in little lots. Crown. Oh, it's getting really hard to reach here. Got it. See, everyone. Crown, crown. The one in the back corner is a crown. That's a crown. Oh, there's an earlier gem one right here. Okay, literally the last one. And it's another just okay crown. I'll put it aside. So that's it. There's a couple boxes I've got to unpack. Hopefully there's something cool in there. I did get some interesting pieces, but if I'm paying $75 for what's in here, I got a minimum double because I got to clean all this stuff too. Okay, that's it for the cellar. I need some fresh air.
Gotta be. I haven't come across my old hockey game.
Oh yeah? So there is stuff up in the attic, you think?
I was thinking so, but...
Okay, got a real ladder. Okay, let's see. Move this thing off my head. Lots of fiberglass. It's really dusty. Okay. So, nothing there. Looks like a Christmas tree. If I found an aluminum one, that'd be pretty cool. There's a couple mystery boxes. Oh, a little dartboard. So it's been up here for a while. The box is falling right apart. Heavily used. It's a track from an old Hot Wheels set. It's a fun little truck here. It's plastic. Super highway service. So the son could belong to him. So it's gonna be his call. I'm gonna have to ask him about this stuff. I can already see another box. I'm almost at the top of the ladder, so it's not safe really to jump on the top unless I come right up here and start hand bombing stuff down to him. See if I can reach this. Oh. Little baseball gloves. Very crusty basketball. Oh, see the front, an old Tonka up here. I'm gonna see if I can climb up here on the ledge and just hand stuff to him. All right, now we'll go back up. And I'll just kind of hand the stuff down to you carefully.
Climb right up there.
Okay. So there's this toy truck here. Plastic one. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. Is that yours?
Yep.
How long since you've seen that?
Oh. 50 years.
That's a while. There's a few boxes up here, so I'm just gonna try and hand stuff down to you. Some of the boxes are falling apart. Like, is this your old baseball glove?
Yeah.
And then here's a dartboard.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's the front half of a Tonka. What do we got here? Oh, that's a cool dump truck. Just watch for falling pieces. Look at some more trucks. I don't know where the studs are, so I have to kind of reach. This one's plastic. There's a plastic pickup, or yeah, it's a pickup. There's a trailer for that Tonka. Okay. There's a couple more plastic pieces for you. I'm gonna leave that old ball. Some hockey pucks and softballs. Man, they're beat right up. Hey, look at that. KFC. I've had one of those KFC pucks in my store for 8 or 9 months for $5. And these are really beat. Stuck together. That's gross. There's a box up here that's got like softballs and hockey pucks and stuff, but they're in really rough shape, like stuck to each other and melted. Okay. There you go.
Yep.
This is a box of, looks like puzzles. Oh, it's so brittle. This stuff's probably been up here for 50 years. This guy's in his 60s. So there's a box of puzzles up here. There's an old baby pram. I'm gonna leave that one. There's something right in front of me though. Right there. Looks like 1960s. Playoff hockey. So I have the metal players. That'd be original 6. From there it looks pretty good. I think I found a few pieces of this last time I was here. Let's get this down. Okay, what else am I looking at here? Just gonna try. Hard to maneuver. I just don't want to fall down the opening there. Here's a little box of toys. It's got some extra hockey players, some little kids books, some old Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars. What's that?
There's not a Hot Wheel track around somewhere.
I saw one piece of a track so far. That's a pretty cool box. I'm gonna hand this one down to you. All right, so that's just old foam. That bag there could be like stuffed animals or something. I'll get that in a second. I'll leave that.
I've had different teams.
Oh, there's a box up here. Yeah, it looks like there's a mishmash of stuff. Let's see. It's so brittle. Some more toys, some plastic toys. Looks like maybe part of a few more die-cast cars and stuff in here. Just a pretty random one. Okay, I made it back to the shop and I'm literally itching for a shower after being up in that attic. All that insulation everywhere was pretty gross, lots of dust, lots of dirt. Same goes for the cellar, pretty disgusting place. Really moldy, dusty, dark, full of cobwebs. Let's hope it's worth our while. Now we're gonna start with the stuff I picked up from the cellar. Now it's pretty fast and furious down there. You saw me grabbing some pieces off the shelves and a couple mystery boxes as well. I've got some of the obvious stuff laid out behind me that you saw me pull off the shelves and the mystery boxes to go through at the end. So we're gonna start with the cellar, then move on to the attic. So we'll start over on the left here. We've got a meat grinder here. They're pretty cool looking, but not overly collectible. There's a lot of them out there. We've got this old bucket here. It's falling right apart. Full of old insulators here. This is like knob and tube insulators for old electrical in a house. But people use these for a lot of crafty projects and things like that. A couple other odds and ends in here as well. There's a couple little, I guess they're almost like taps for maple syrup, a railroad tie. That's the gist of it. So kind of a fun little lot there. Now this would have been maybe the best or one of the best pieces in there if it weren't in such rough condition. It's an old welding crock from Brantford, Ontario, 2-gallon. It would have had a really nice cobalt blue floral pattern on it, but you can see from all the moisture in there that it's really just kind of falling apart at this point. So maybe worth $15 as is for a garden piece that might last another season or two. Got a couple little baking tins here for cookies and tarts and things like that. This was like a little camping section. These are old melamine dishes here. Some pretty funky stuff here from the 60s, maybe even the 70s. Overall, they're in pretty good condition. They've got some collectability. They are still good for camping, outdoor stuff, things like that. Got a few nice enameled little cups here. Again, good for outdoor use, camping. There's another little stoneware jug here. Nothing too exciting, but it's not as common as most of the other jugs I find. That one there is probably about $30 cleaned up, as long as there's no like big chips or cracks that I can't see right now. This one back here is a little different. I don't see this type every day. Again, another nice stoneware one. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape. Looks like they used an old corn cob there for a cork. And I'm kind of a sucker for these. This one's really worn out here. It's got lots of rust spots and it's got an enamel finish on there, baked on, or you call it a porcelain finish, whatever you like. Now that's a granite ware. They call it granite ware because that pattern looks like granite. But again, a nice piece to put on a shelf. You could use it in your garden. And we've got a stoneware bedpan. You don't see these that often. I come across the old enameled ones all the time. That's in pretty good shape. Again, stick a plant in it, put it in your garden. It's spring, it's a perfect time of year for this sort of thing. So then we've got a lot of old fruit jars, canning jars here. There was a lot in there. I was being pretty picky. I could have been even pickier if I really wanted to be, but I didn't know how much I was going to come across out of there, and I wanted to make it worth my while. So most of them are some old crown jars. They've pretty much all, except maybe one or two, have the blue tint in the glass. There's an earlier ball right here, a mason jar. We've got another old early gem right here. Here's a sweetheart crown I was talking about. If you look at next to another crown jar, how it kind of dips down, looks like a heart. When we're looking at all of these here, we're probably at about $5, $10, $15, $20, maybe $25 tops. I'm likely going to put a bunch of these together and sell them in a lot and maybe have a couple in the store, but these are very common in my area because I don't have to travel very far to find a farm, and they've got old cellars and barns full of these. And one of my favorite pieces I picked up, I wasn't sure what it was when I first grabbed it. I found the bottom first and then the top later. This is actually an old sausage stuffer. It's really heavy. It's all cast iron. Looks like it's complete, or if not, it's very close to being complete. It's got the handle that goes on here. And I don't know if these are like sausage injectors or what they are. So just off the pieces I grabbed on the table here, I'm going to make a decent profit. And then we've still got the mystery totes that I pulled out of the bottom. And there's 2 of them right there. So let's bust open these bad boys and see what we got. So, I mean, just opening it, I can smell the must from the moisture in the cellar. I'm curious to see when this stuff was wrapped up. 2004. So, almost 20 years ago. And it's funny, what was collectible 20 years ago, what's collectible now, could be a big difference. So, this is an Amber Javex bottle here. They're actually very common in the area. They look really cool, but it's really only worth $1 or $2. Coca-Cola bottle. A Pepsi bottle, probably from the 60s. Here's a small little jar here. That's a half pint Crown. Now these ones here can be worth about $10, $15 because it's not a size you see every day. So a little York peanut butter jar. They can have some value. It's got some nice embossing on it there. It'd be cool if I had a lid that had some sort of advertising on it. I'm not sure if this one did or not. So that's a mystery one to me. I have to look that one up. Another Coca-Cola bottle here. There's not many rare ones around these days, it seems. I don't think I've ever had a Coca-Cola bottle worth more than $20. I'm going to throw something up on the screen to show the Coca-Cola bottle history or something so you get a better idea of which ones to look for. This looks like maybe an inkwell. Yeah, it's a Waterman's inkwell. So, not overly rare, probably $5. So we're getting there on the first bin anyway. The second one's bigger. There, another little common medicine bottle. So they get a little bit better here when they've got some embossing on them with the company. Here's a Sloan's liniment. It's got a little stopper in it. This one's actually quite common. I see this one all the time. I don't even bother selling those in the store. I just try and sell them in large groupings like what we've got here. And we got one more piece in here. Looks like that could be like another whiskey bottle there. It's actually shaped like a flask. If you can see that there. Okay, so the first bin, we've got all of this, mostly medicine bottles, a couple little canning jars and odds and ends. Nothing really jumping out at me. These little York peanut butter jars might be something, and the little Crown half pint there might be something. $10 to $20 max on those. This stuff here, it's either broken, dirty, or just very common. Some will go in the garbage, and then anything that's worth salvaging will just go together in a big lot in my next auction. Okay, into the second bin now. This one's quite a bit bigger and heavier. Again, everything's wrapped up in paper. The only thing I unwrapped when I was in the cellar was this insulator here, which is a pretty cool looking piece. Nice royal blue. And it's marked. So that CP right there stands for Canadian Pacific. So that's this would have been on a pole along the railway. It does have a couple little chips on it. Probably still worth about $8 to $10 the way it is. Don't normally put these in my store unless they're quite rare. I like to just sell them in lots and put them through auction. But they are fun little pieces. So this is still wet. It's pretty gross. Okay, we've got a big kind of amberish colored, probably for alcohol, shaped like a gun. It's a little more tacky than anything. There's a little extract, artificial lemon. That one's kind of nice. It's got the nice paper label. It's still mostly there. I don't expect it to be worth a lot. I will check it out, though, to be safe. Ugh, like this is just gross here. Boston Ale, that's not even old. This is a green glass. Again, nothing really rare, unfortunately. It is an earlier piece here. But, you know, these are very common. They're out there. People dig these up out of their backyards all the time in landfills. So they look interesting, but they're really not worth putting on a shelf and selling unless you've got a lot of room or you want to specialize in $2, $3, $5 bottles. Just a little mini jar there. That's like a little cream jar there. So I can already see here on this bottle, whatever it is, like the moisture is just really taking its toll on the cap there. Yeah, this is just nasty. I'm not even going to wrap that one there. I'll just open a little section. Yeah, I can already tell that. Yeah, so that's just a beer bottle there. Paper label, that's not going to be rare, I can tell already. So if you look down here, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to try and stick towards the top for right now. If it gets even worse at the bottom here, I'm going to put some gloves on. So this one's kind of different here. I'm not familiar with this one. Double Brown, Whitbread Company, London, England. Still has both the labels. So it does have the Liquor Control Board of Ontario sticker on it. So I'm going to take a closer look at that one. I'll look that one up. If I can find a comparable, I'll show it to you. Oh, so gross. So gross. Just an amber bottle. Ugh. So most of the stuff here, I'm just actually going to put it into a blue bin, I think, and put it up for recycling. I'm not wrapping it back up. The newspaper is going right in the garbage. So here's a small little milk bottle here. Here's a Silverwood safe milk bottle. It is a smaller one. Probably maybe a $10 bottle. Okay, so here's a nice little cobalt piece here. This could be like an eye wash or something. But yeah, you could fill this up with like some water or saline solution and literally put it over top of your eyeball and rinse it out. I'll see if I can find a better picture of one of these, actually, somebody using one or one of these in the box. And looks like there's just one more piece left in the bottom. And looks what looks like another milk bottle or something here, 7 ounces. So if I get this stuff out of the way, this is what we got out of the last bin here. So most of this stuff is going to go right in the recycling. I'm going to lot some of this stuff up for auction, like the little creamers and the milk bottles will all go together in the auction. They're just really not worth putting on my shelves. I've got limited space in the store, so I try and keep it a little bit higher end. But most of this stuff here is just chipped or really no value. It'll just go into the blue box, and that'll be that. And then we've got all this stuff over here from the last one. So these two bins, kind of a bust, actually. I didn't really find anything exciting in there. I don't know if it was even worth digging through and getting so dirty. But some of the stuff will get enjoyed by somebody else, and I'm glad I didn't overpay for what I wanted out of there, because most of the value came from the stuff I pulled right off the shelves and was more obvious, like the sausage stuffer here, the stoneware pieces, that sort of stuff here. So I made a deal with a brother to take whatever I want out of the cellar for $75. So I did pretty well on the obvious stuff I pulled off the shelves. The stuff in the mystery boxes, not so much. That's pretty much a write-off. So overall, pretty good. I should be able to triple my money on that stuff at least. Time to go through all the stuff in the attic. Now I'm hoping I left the best for last, because there's some really cool stuff up there, some boy toys that belong to him, 50 years up there. Now I went through it pretty quickly for the most part. I only opened the top of a couple boxes. We saw a couple things on top, some obvious pieces that were just ready for the trash. So let's start digging through that. Okay, so I've got the stuff on the table here laid out. These are things you saw me grabbing out of the attic that were a little bit more obvious. But let's take a little bit closer look at what we actually pulled out here. So this is a nice cement mixer truck. This is made by SSS Quality Toys out of Japan, 1960s. Really random use of colors, that's for sure. So this one was played with pretty hardcore here. It's missing some parts, it's got some wear. Someone will still like it. It's worth about $40 in that condition. The next piece, this is pretty fun. I got one piece to start, then found the other piece later. This is a Tonka auto carrier from the 60s. Looks really good. I think it is complete, unless there's a little latch missing there I don't know about. But it just needs a good cleaning, and that one there is worth about $75. And then over here we've got this little pickup truck here made by Marks. It's plastic, it's beat up. There's a big crack there. Someone put some Bondo or something on the bottom. So that's maybe a $5 piece the way it is. We've got a tow truck back here. I'm not sure if these are the parts that go with it. Not a big deal. It's not really a collectible piece. It's made by a company called Atlas. It's all plastic. Not in the greatest shape, but I'll probably put about $20 on that one. And back here we've got a fire truck, also made by Marks. Now this one here is probably the worst condition. Would have been pretty cool if it was better, but it's got some obvious cracks on it, tire damage, and missing most of the accessories. I'll probably end up putting it in a lot with the blue Atlas truck and this little plastic guy, and maybe a couple other things to bump up the value. Just a nice little vintage baseball glove from the 60s. I sell these more for nostalgia. Just a more common one like this is about $20. And an old dartboard, probably a little dry. The only reason I grabbed it and most of the plastic stuff here is because the brother wanted to sell me everything that I pulled out of the attic that belonged to him. He didn't want any of it, didn't have any attachment to it. And then we've got this piece here that was just sitting up there on the rafters. Pretty well preserved, all things considered. Looks like it's almost complete. There may have been a piece that came up here for a scoreboard or something. But otherwise, it's got most of the players. It's got a couple players mixed in that don't belong there. It's got like really nice graphics. It's all tin around the outside here. This is made by Eagle Toys. Now this one here, I thought originally was original 6 when I first saw it, but then when I took it down and took a better look, I noticed these green guys here. So that's actually the California Golden Seals, and they didn't enter the league until 1967 as part of the first NHL expansion, where they went from 6 to 12 teams. I really like their outfits here. The jerseys are kind of cool too. They were only around until 1976. But I think it'd be pretty cool if one of the California teams actually wore one of their jerseys as a throwback, because I think it'd be pretty cool. So it's in pretty good shape. It needs a cleaning more or less. I do have some extra players lying around somewhere. Not these specific teams, but enough to at least make a playable game with all the right players on the right teams anyway. And then we've got 3 other boxes that I pulled down that I didn't really look through. So these are kind of like the surprise boxes here. I haven't even gone through them at all. I just put them in the car, took them back, and we're the first ones looking at them together here. So we can start off with this one here. I had to put it into a tote because the box was just rotting and falling apart. Okay, so I got the whole box out without the whole thing crumbling. So we've got, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at here. We've got a bit of track, maybe from Hot Wheels, and some ports here. Eldon Road Race. Okay, so that would be part of a slot car track. So a lot of plastic stuff in here. Some, pre-Lego type stuff here. Nothing too exciting here. You better look at that there. The Easy Lock by Reliable. Some classic tractor. There's a die-cast car here. It's a nice little bug. So that's a Volkswagen sedan. Pretty decent shape. I'll put that aside. Some other die-cast. Okay, so we get to the bottom. It looks like the heavier stuff fell towards the bottom here. So that one there, that's pretty cool. Nice military vehicle. Here's a nice yellow truck here. This one here looks like it was repainted, actually. That's a bit of a shame. This one here looks like a garbage truck. So this one's a Lesney Matchbox. Again, 1960s. Not much value in that one there. The Hot Wheels seem to be worth quite a bit more than most of the Matchbox stuff. There's a little Fun Daisy cap gun in there. So here's a couple more right here. Again, they were repainted. These will just end up being lotted up. So I'll take a closer look. There's one more piece here. Again, another farm implement missing some parts. So I'll take a closer look at that later, but nothing really obvious there in terms of value. Let's see what the next one is. Okay, this one here, so you see the dirt all over it, just sitting up there for years. Okay, so this is going to be some slot car track, that's for sure. The track alone doesn't really have much value unless it was something really rare that they didn't make every day. The cars are where the value is. So I'm just going to get all this track out of here. Some controllers here, they're stuck to this plastic piece. That's kind of a shame. So you can see right there, it's made by Eldon. So we've got the shell of a car, and then just the piece that fell off, another one here. So there's like the chassis. I don't expect these to work, but you never know. I'll put that aside. The transformer for it. Another shell. So these can have value on their own because they're pretty much interchangeable, most of these cars. Obviously going to need a cleaning first. Some parts and pieces here. Another kind of frame. There's a nice looking top there. There's another fun one there. So there's probably still some value, but it's going to be more for the cars and the car pieces. And so if they've got enough value, I'll put them through online. But if they're not much, I'll just donate them. So there's one box left from the attic to go through. This is one I got excited about when I opened up the top and I saw a few things right off the hop. So I have not looked at it at all. You guys saw as much as I did. Let's jump right in here. Okay, so that's probably where I saw some other hockey players. This is in the top of this box. Looks like a mix. We've got these are the metal ones from the 60s. We've got looks like some Montreal Canadiens, Philadelphia Flyers. The blue could have been. I'm not sure if Pittsburgh Penguins came in. I think they did. Okay, so it looks like this is actually a holder for the players. Maybe this is what it was shipped in. I'm not sure. Yeah, the blue one is a Pittsburgh Penguins. So it looks like there's 2 in each one here. Maybe even 3 in a couple. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. About 11 or 12 players there. So that should be helpful for completing a game. And I know a puck just dropped in when I picked that up. There it is. So there's one of the pucks. So these players actually have some value on their own for collectors trying to complete their games and they want to get extra teams. So here's something we saw right on top here was this box of die cast. So once we get into it here, we're going to have some like Matchbox, like the Lesney stuff right off the bat. You know, not too bad as far as condition goes. There's a cool little camper right there. Unfortunately, that one's been repainted as well. Some military. So this guy seemed like more of a Matchbox kid. Getting some military stuff. Here's a fun little Volkswagen van. The door is missing, unfortunately, and it was repainted. But people do restore these. They will strip them right down. They'll custom paint them. There's lots of reproduction parts out there, so it's not like they're a lost cause by any means. Okay, so we've got a couple more of these. And then here we go. Now we're getting into the red lines. Now, unfortunately, this one's missing a piece, I think, on the back there. But that's a good sign. We found 1 and 2. This one's much better. It looks like the paint is the paint's original in that one. So this is where we get into some value. I can't think off the top of my head exactly what this one would go for, but we're probably talking in that condition $20 and up. If I find it's a little bit more rare or collectible, I'll post a comparable price on the screen here for you. There's another red line. Again, original paint, looks pretty good to me. This is the Beatnik Bandit. I've had this one quite a few times over the years. Not bad, a little scuffing, a little bit of paint loss, but overall the tires look pretty good. It's all there. So these are some familiar favorites right here, right off the bat. A whole bunch of the old little golden books. Raggedy Ann and Andy, some kittens. We've got some Sesame Street. These are great little books. I remember growing up reading lots of these as hand-me-downs. Most of them are still relevant today. Some of them aren't too politically correct, so you gotta maybe pre-read them before you read them to your kids. Some Christmas. In decent shape, these are worth $1 to $10 unless it's something really rare. And we've got some more die cast in here. So it looks like we've got some stuff from the 60s and then we're going into the 70s already. So here's a really cool looking van. Not great shape, unfortunately. Some sports cars. So, I mean, as a collector and someone who resells this stuff, you obviously want the stuff in the best condition possible. But the fact is that people played with their stuff. Here we go. A couple more red lines. So you see they've all got the names on the bottom of them, so really easy to identify these when you do get them. I was hoping for more because the top of the box was actually the best part of it, but getting those metal hockey players, that was really cool because they're going to come in handy down the road for sure. A couple of the red lines in there on the floor, but it was a pretty good heap that came out of just that one little box. So I think between the 3 boxes we just went through with the slot cars, the plastic stuff, the books in here, at least $100 in resale value anyway, so that's good. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the attic went. There's some pretty cool stuff in those boxes. I'm really happy with the red lines, the Tonka auto carrier, the hockey game, a few miscellaneous pieces. Now, there is some stuff that is ready for the garbage or little piles to put together if I find more parts and pieces to complete a set. But overall, not too bad. I paid $150 for everything up there. That was his price. He wanted to get rid of everything, including the garbage. So I've got some stuff that's got to go right in the trash, unfortunately. For a $150 investment, I should be able to at least double my money on that stuff. So we went through a lot of stuff in a short amount of time today, but I'd like to hear your opinion. What's your favorite item I grabbed? Was there something I left behind you think I should have brought home with me? Put that in the comments section below. And while you're down there, give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button because there's a lot more content coming to you really soon. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.